All right, AJ, co-main event. We got number 48 ranked Misha Cirkunov versus number 45 ranked Wellington Turman. And Turman's been an active man, dude. We've seen him fight a lot recently. But I do want to just make a programming note here, folks, for this matchup specifically. Let's not forget, Misha Cirkunov had his last fight at middleweight. And prior to that, he's fought all of his fights at light heavyweight. So this is new territory for Cirkunov, who is as big as they come, who can grapple as good as anybody else. He fights out of Extreme Couture. But Wellington Turman, man, under the tutelage of Glover Teixeira, the current light heavyweight champion right now, I think that he is going to have some tools and a skill set to make this a winnable fight. I think this could definitely be a winnable fight. But Misha Cirkunov, AJ, we know he has one game plan, and the game plan is, let me snatch up those legs, let me get you on the ground, and I'm going to submit you, I'm going to Peruvian necktie you, I'm going to arm triangle you, I'm going to be top heavy, and I'm going to just smash or submit. Wellington Turman, though, AJ, do you agree with me on this one? Even though we've seen him be very chinny, right? We've seen him get knocked out a couple of times. He's 2-3 in his last 5. Back-to-back KO losses to Bruno Silva and Andrew Sanchez, which were like nasty KO losses. Aside from that, AJ, we haven't seen anybody take down Wellington Turman, like a legitimate takedown. Like, his takedown defense is actually really damn good. So given that Misha Cirkunov is a balls to the wall, let me take you down, and if I can't take you down, I'm going to get really tired and try to strike with you, do you think Wellington Turman says, let me take down defense, stuff, rounds 2, rounds 3, oh, you're tired now, remember that, big boy, all that muscle you got, yeah, now it's wearing on you, now let's go to work? Do you think Turman takes an educated approach here, or is he standing, trading, banging, and ultimately falling victim to the same tendencies? What do you think?
Well, he can get the finish early, man. Turman packs a lot of power in that frame, but Cirkunov is just relentless in that ground game. So I think the best course of action is Turman is just to be defending the takedowns, man. To survive that round 1 onslaught, because we know Cirkunov is going to be nonstop in that first round. Get the big boy a little tired. I actually like the lighter Cirkunov in this fight, man. Maybe not for the full winner. I'm a very back and forth on this fight, man. Cirkunov, very powerful, and coming down, he's actually a little bit faster. I like it. I like the fact that he's a little quicker, a little lighter, but still maintains that power that he used to have. Great wrestling, great pressure. And can Turman stop that? Can he stop the pressure and the wrestling of Cirkunov? That's the big question for me, man. Because if he does, it's a whole new game plan, man. It's like seeing the trees opening up. It's a whole new world out here for Turman. He's able to strike. He's able to get things going. And he's young, man. If he has that young vigor and that young mentality, if you can't hurt me, keep things going, I like Turman in this fight, man. There's so many different ways in which I see this one doing. If Cirkunov starts working those leg kicks, though, we're going to see something that Turman hasn't really been able to deal with, man. Very good in a firefight. Very good wrestling as well for Turman. So there's a multitude of ways. And since Turman's so young, it's almost like which fighter are we going to see? We're going to see that stand and trade. We're going to see him sitting there banging it out. Or are we going to see the wrestler who's taking a smarter approach? I personally think Turman takes a smarter approach in this one. We're going to see a long, drag-out fight, man. Cirkunov is a dog with a lot of time under his belt. It's going to be a very interesting one and a good litmus test for Turman coming forward. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you, man, but I just want to ask you this, man. I feel like I've said it multiple times on this program, but Wellington Turman has all of the tools, all of the skills. I feel like it's just a mental thing. That's the only thing that's been his woes in the UFC thus far, because it's like he's winning these fights until he's not. Like every single time. So do you agree with me that skill-wise, I mean, Turman is up there. I can look at him and I'm just like, dude, you're so good technically, you know what I mean? Your submissions, your offense, your kicks, all of that, your right cross, left hook combo, it's all money. But, you just get caught and it happens, man. So do you think it's a mental thing?
I think it's a mental thing. I also think it's an age thing, man. He's just a little still growing. This dude's 25 years old, man, and he's fighting grown men in there. He's still growing, still letting that brain develop a little. It's hard because that's why I said it depends on which fighter shows up for Wellington Turman.
Yeah.
He's either going to be smart, he's going to be balls, he's going to be young and reckless, or he's going to come in there with the professionalism of an adult. Either way, he's still a good fighter, though.
Can Misha Cirkunov submit Wellington Turman given his submission pedigree? And he's never been submitted.
I don't think so, man. I think it's going to have to be a ground and pound for Cirkunov to get it done because Turman is very skilled on the mat unless he gets out of his mind. That's a big caveat right there, though.
Can Turman submit Misha Cirkunov given his submission pedigree? I mean, Cirkunov has been submitted twice.
He's been submitted, but this dude's a veteran, man, and he's crafty on the ground. I think both these dudes are going to have to work for a ground and pound TKO. Leave the submissions out the door and work for that position instead.
Round 3, 2 minutes left. Who has more cardio, Cirkunov or Turman?
Man, I'm going Cirkunov just
Oh,
because he's cutting the weight down. He doesn't have as much weight anymore. He's kind of still, and he is very powerful. He does carry a lot of that muscle, but he's dialed it back a little, taking the Jose Aldo approach, which
sure.
in my mind is a little different. But I think Cirkunov. What about you?
I do remember Cirkunov in his last fight against Jotko, right? He was still able to push the pace come round 2, round 3. Like, he was still able to move a little bit. But when you're doing a lot of takedowns, a lot of wrestling, that's what gasses him out. I just want to make the note. I think Turman's going to have more cardio, and this is why. Even though Cirkunov, since everyone knows he's going for the takedowns, it's kind of easy to defend. It's not easy to defend, but you know what's coming, right? He is 7 of 20 in his takedown attempts in his last 5 fights. He's only secured 7 takedowns, 20 attempts. That means he's shooting. Bro, it's so tiring. Shooting, and not getting it. Trying, using all your strength, and then you don't get it. He's like, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, come round 3, it might cost him. So with that being said, AJ, I'm going to go straight to it. I like Wellington Turman in this fight. I know he is 2-3 in his last 5, but so is Misha Cirkunov. I know Turman has been knocked out a couple times in his last 5, but so has Misha Cirkunov. So with that being said, I'm going with the young contender, man, the dude who I think has all the skills, who is more well-rounded on the feet than Misha Cirkunov is, and who is damn near just as good on the ground. So with that being said, over and under is 1.5 rounds. I like the over. Give me Wellington Turman, drag it out fight. I got a decision victory on hand for Wellington Turman. Who do you have? Why? And over and under, what you got?
This one's a hard one for me, Derek, because I see it the same way you do. I like the tool belt of Wellington Turman, man. He has a lot going for him. Just that mental always comes into question for me. In my gut, I think Cirkunov, man. We were talking about it before at the beginning. This is that fight that I was talking about where I really like Cirkunov, but my brain tells me Turman's gonna get it done. I hope I'm not wrong. I'm rocking with Turman, and I'm going by decision. I think he's gonna get it done in those deep waters, man. We're gonna see a new breed come out of Turman. I hope so. But like I said, man, someone's telling me Cirkunov. You might want to check him.
Listen, brother, they say you have like a second brain in your gut, right? And that's that gut instinct. I could be making that up. I don't know. But listen, brother, intuition is a hell of a thing, man. So we'll see what happens. This is like notably name-wise, maybe not the biggest thing in the world, but I'm telling you, this is going to be a fun fight, folks.